It's been a while, but I am making content. So, so this video is going to be just my tips for Uber newbies. So, yeah, let's get going. So, if you're a new driver or you're thinking about being an UberEats driver, these are just my initial tips just to get you started, get you out on the road, and give you some confidence that you are fully capable to do this. So, first of all, the first thing I want to say is don't worry about making money. You need to just go online and see what happens. Because if you're worried about making money, you're going to be distracting yourself from learning the ropes. That's the first thing you need to figure out. Before you start making the money, I mean, you will be making money, but that shouldn't be what you're trying to initially do. You first need to figure out what the system is and how it works and all of that, all the little kinks, so you're able to handle all of those situations. You will develop your own schedule. So, like I said, you just need to go online. Don't worry about how much money you're going to be making. Don't worry about too much of it. Just go online, see what happens. You're going to figure out as you go how you do. And if you enjoy it, if you don't enjoy it, where you like working, how Uber works, where you end up getting sent, and all of that. You will then learn different ways to actually make the money. But first, if you're a newbie, you need to just get on the road and figure it out. I recommend, and I think most other drivers would recommend, you planning to go 4 hours. So just plan on it. Plan 4 hours. I'm going to be in the car and I'm just going to be waiting to do all of these trips for the next 4 hours. And you'll go from there and you'll develop your own little system. Number 2, you need to be presentable. There's no uniform, so you can wear whatever you want to wear, but make sure that you're comfortable. But don't be sloppy comfortable. Don't be wearing clothes with stains on it or things that look dirty. Don't wear pants that annoy you, that fall down or you walk on, or shirts that slip down for us ladies, things like that. It's also important to be clean and brush your hair. If you have facial hair, taking care of that, making sure it doesn't look, too like appetizing, because you're delivering food and you need to look, just for the split second that this person may or may not look at you, that you're not going to make them unhungry. You don't want them to lose their appetite when they look at you. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is, even though they're not required, an insulated bag is going to help you so much in this job. I don't think it's necessary to be spending lots of money on a delivery bag. I think it's a good idea to check your friends and family if they have any insulated bags that they're not using. That's what happened with me. It's going to get beat up. They're probably not going to get it back. Or you can buy pretty cheap ones at the local grocery store just to get you started. Not everything will always fit, but you need to figure out a way of how you're going to deal with those situations, on how you're going to try to keep the food as warm or as cool as possible, depending on the circumstances that you're delivering in. 4, when you are driving, your number 1 priority needs to be safety. I am in the DFW area and it is extremely dangerous here. There are accidents constantly around here, and people are just not the safest when they drive. They're unaware of other people when they drive around here. They pull out, they go slow all over the place, or they go super fast. It's just really dangerous. So you should always have your eyes on the road when you're driving. With that being said, you're going to have a navigation system telling you where to go. It's going to give you some unsafe directions. So you need to be aware of safety being number one when you drive. That way, when the navigation gives you any of these directions that are unsafe, you're well aware of it before you get ahead. So it's going to make you go wrong ways on the street. It's going to send you down alleys. It's going to make you go through dead ends and expect you to somehow fly across to the other end. There's going to be a ton of U-turns. It's kind of a joke for us drivers. Is when you see a car doing a lot of U-turns, you know that's a Uber driver or a Lyft driver probably. And also, the navigation is also going to give you some impossible directions, like some of the examples I just said, and more. So you need to be aware of your surroundings. You need to be safe. That way you don't just drive on some railroad tracks like a previous driver has done. Not a Uber driver, I don't think. They were just this person. Or driving, you don't want to cause an accident. You don't want to have an accident. This isn't to get into accidents. This is to make some money. So let's be safe out there, okay? 5, your attitude. You need to keep your attitude in check. At any time, this is what I recommend. At any time, if you get frustrated or about anything, irritated, mad, sad, whatever, it's time to go home. And so don't just go home if you're on a delivery, if you're on a trip. You need to complete that trip. You can go into the app and you can say, like, no more trips. There's an option in there. Like, go offline after this trip. And then after you deliver, then just go home and relax. Excuse me. Okay. Customer service is next. It's important if you've been in customer service. If you haven't, I'm going to give some tips on what I do when I drive. A lot of drivers will do whatever they want. Nobody's here to tell you how to do it. You do it the way that you want. I kind of work as a ghost. I don't send text messages to the customer. I don't contact the customer at all unless I cannot locate them. That's usually the only time that I will ever start a conversation or get in touch with the customer. Otherwise, I just show up at the food. Sometimes I don't even see the person, and I will send a message then just telling them where I left the food, or if they did direct me to leave the food with the receptionist, I will send a message just letting them know, hey, the receptionist has your order. Have a great day, So it's important to stay kind and nice in customer service mode, but we're not like customer service agents where we're here to make the customer super happy. That's just not our job. Our job is just to deliver food. So relax. But it is important to figure out how you're going to do your own customer service. So some people send messages after every delivery that thanks the customer, or they send text messages when they're on their way. I don't. Why? Because Uber sends them a message saying, hey, your food's on the way. Or like they, go into the app and they see that. So I don't do that personally, but other people do. And very, 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 very important for new drivers is that if you have any problems, any issues, if there's something going on, if you don't know how long you should wait, things like that. If you get to the restaurant and the food's not ready, if you can't find the customer and the customer is not picking up the phone, or the customer calls with another address, the best thing to do in any situation, if you're new and you don't know how and you've never been in those situations before, you haven't been given any advice from other drivers, is just to call Uber. So those are my 7 newbie tips just to get you out on the road and get going. If you have any specific questions, if you want to hear any examples, or if you want any feedback, leave a comment, let me know, and I hope everybody's out there making as much money as they want.